Keion, can you kind of take me back to last year's SEC tournament and kind of your thoughts and emotions when you guys were told that the tournament had been canceled and walking off the court, and then obviously later that day when you found out the NCAA tournament had been canceled?
The night before it was canceled, we all kind of had a pretty good feeling that we were going to get shut down. So we went to our scheduled shoot around the next morning. Um, I officially knew it was over once we went to shoot around, and Cal didn't say nothing for the whole hour that we had on the court. He just let us shoot around and do whatever. Then he called us in and said, they're canceling the tournament, possibly going to cancel the NCAA tournament as well, and that's how that went down. It was sad because we thought we really had a chance to make a run, but unfortunate things happen sometimes.
John Clay?
Keion, obviously, Coach Calipari's had a lot of success in this tournament. I think he's won it 6 times. Does that give you guys any more confidence going in that you have a coach who has done so well in this tournament?
It does. The head man, when he's been through it before, and he's went through these tournaments and won plenty of games and won the tournament multiple times. The man who's leading you through the fire knows what he's doing. So that gives us extreme confidence going into it.
Jerry Tipton and Gary Graves.
Keion, Coach Cal said on his radio show that Dante shot it well in practice Monday. I'm wondering, how well did he shoot it?
Dante shot the ball extremely well. That's what we need Dante to do. We've all had his back all year. We've been, we get mad at Dante when he doesn't shoot the ball because we know how good of a shooter he is. He brings a different element to our team. And yesterday, Dante shot the lights out.
And just as a follow, like you say, he could really shoot it well. Why do you think he's reluctant at times to do what he's good at?
I don't know. That's a question you would have to ask Dante. All I can say is that, like I said before, anytime he has an inch of daylight to get it off, we want him to put it up.
I wondered if he, feels pressure as a home state guy and a big fan favorite that maybe weighs on a player's mind.
Once again, that's something you have to speak to Dante about. I don't have the ability to jump inside his mind, but our whole team and coaching staff is backing him, and all we want to do is see him do well. So if he is feeling pressure, I hope that he knows that we're with him no matter what.
Gary, go ahead.
Even though you're one of the veteran guys, and I guess you're trying to prepare some of the the younger teammates for this tournament. This is kind of new territory for you too, since you all didn't get to play. What are you anticipating from this, and how do you kind of prepare this team and yourself for the possibility of 4 games in 4 days?
We just got to be ready for war every single time we step out on that court. We know what position we're in, and we know what we have to do to get it done. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult, but our coaching staff has put together game plans to help us succeed and to help us be the best on the court. And we have to go out there and execute and just go out there and fight and give it all we got.
And what do you look forward to with this schedule?
I look forward to see what we're really made of. We got a tough task ahead of us, but I really believe it's something that we can do. So let's go out there and see what we can really do.
John Long, you're next.
Keion, you of anybody from last year after the conference tournament was canceled had to be the most disappointed. You were coming off a great game against Florida, and then subsequently the beginning of this year you go through that injury. What did you learn from going through that experience, and does that make you that much more grateful to be able to get out on the court and just play?
Yeah, it made me put things in perspective and try not to take things for granted. it's easy just to think that, you know, for me to think every day I can just get up and play basketball with no worries. But, you know, once the tournament was taken away from us, and then, you know, me dealing with my injury, the game was taken away from me for a while. You know, it's difficult, but, you know, God puts things in your way that you can handle, testing your strength, and I got through it, and now we have another challenge ahead of us with, you know, 4 games in 4 days, and we can do it. So let's go out there and make it happen.
John Hale, go to you.
Keion, it felt like when Keion went on that run the other day, that was one of the few times all year that the crowd has become, you know, kind of a factor at Rupp. That's really the only guy who plays who's experienced what it's like to play at Rupp in a full crowd. And how much has that affected you guys at times this year, and what impact do you think that might have this week at an event that's normally, you know, jam-packed with Kentucky fans but won't be able to?
I think it plays a role, especially home games or even away games where, you know, because our fans do travel really well. And when you go on runs and you get to hear your fans cheering, "Go Big Blue," or, you know, just out there just showing extreme support, you know, that could probably stifle the other teams at times to get in their head a little bit. But, I mean, we got to play with the cards that we're dealt, and we got to go out there, and whether our fans are able to be there or not, we still got to go out there and compete.
Kyle Tucker to you.
Yeah, Keion, let's say the dream scenario happens and you guys are dancing in the confetti on Sunday in Nashville. If that has happened, what will be the primary reason? What's the most important thing for this team to do well to have a chance to make that crazy thing happen?
All it comes down to is, did we fight or not? And 4 games, 4 days is tough. And if you want to do that, you got to go out there and fight every single possession of every single game. And if we do that, we got a really good chance of, you know, like you said, being the ones dancing that confetti when it's all over.
Jerry, come back to you.
Yeah, Keion, I wonder what you remember about the first game against Mississippi State. What sort of challenge do they present?
I didn't play that game, but I know from what I can remember, they got two really good guards that can make shots. They got some big guys on the interior that, you know, that can really rough it up and make it difficult for you around the rim. And then also, Coach was throwing out that game, and Dante came in and played extremely well, shot the ball well. We wouldn't have won that game without Dante. And that's really all I can tell you, because I was sitting on the sideline watching.
And Coach mentioned on his radio show that you guys basically will be sequestered in your hotel, right? You can't go out to a restaurant. You can't go out. Basically, what is that like to live like that, sort of, you know, confined that way, other than going to the arena?
I mean, it's a business trip. I don't know where we would be going out to anyway if we were allowed to leave. So we're out here to win 4 games in 4 days. I don't see what other attraction or anything else you would want to go when you got when we got the task in front of us that we do.